A very good morning to Principal Ma'am, Vice Principal Ma'am, teachers and my dear students. I welcome you all to this virtual science exhibition presented by the students of Dayanand Vidya Mandir, Kulesra, Greater Noida. What exactly is science? Well, let me tell you. Science is derived from the Latin word scientia, meaning knowledge. Therefore, science is all about gaining knowledge through observing, studying, experiments, experiences, and practices. Entire knowledge which we gather through science is based on observations, experiments, and uncovering various hidden phenomena in the nature. According to me, science is an intellectual set of activities designed to uncover the information related to the world we live in. In my opinion, primary objective of science is to collect information and to distinguish orders found between the facts. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Radhakrishnan rightly said that science demands induction from facts and not deduction from dogmas. Science insists on reign of law. If law works everywhere and through all time, there would be nothing mysterious and miraculous about the world. I am Ria from class 11th. Welcome you all in the virtual science exhibition. From middle classes will represent their models.
Good morning, respected Principal Ma'am, Vice Principal Ma'am, teachers, and all my dear friends. I am Yaman Yadav. I am the student of class 6th. I have made a mini floor mill or atta chakki as my live project of science. I used electric motor, iron rod, and bearing in it. This is its funnel box. We will put grain in it. And this is its exit way. We will switch on the electric motor. The grinder parts grind the wheat and the flour will come by its exit way. Thank you.
Myself Lakshmi Gautam from class 6A. Today I am presenting before you volcanic eruption.
a volcano, and now I will erupt it. I have kept some water in it, and now I am going to keep a carpet stone by safely. I have kept it. And I have also take some food color to color it. You can see it is coming out. It's a real volcano eruption.
Good morning to all. My name is Aditya Kumar Saha from class 6B. I had made a robot and now I am presenting you my robot. I had made this robot. I have used mostly home things to make this, like cardboard, thin stick, batteries and wire. I had only brought DC motor. Now I am telling you how this robot works. This robot works by this board. If we put left side plus sign up, then it start moving front. If we put this plus sign down, then it start moving back. On the right side, if we put plus sign at the up, then this robot start moving right side, and if we put the plus sign in down, then this robot start moving on left. Now I am giving you a demo of this robot performance.
Good morning all of you. My name is Riya Vishal Devade from standard 6B. My project name is water dispenser machine. How it works? The machine works with the help of air. When we will open the cap, air goes inside and pushes the water, and water will come through the pipe. When we will close the water, it will not cut air, and it will not pushes the water from the. It will not come through the pipe. Uses: the machine is used as drinking water and can be used without electric power. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. Myself Akash Singh from class 8th. Today I am representing the graphite can conduct electricity. In this project I use 2 pencils, 1 battery, one switch and 1 LED bulb and a small wire. I switch LED bulb glow, it means graphite can conduct electricity. Thank you and have a nice day.
My name is Anmol Rajput from class 8B. Today I am here to represent my model hydraulic bridge. Hydraulic bridge based on Pascal's law.
good morning to all of you. Learning gives creativity, creativity leads to thinking, thinking provides knowledge, and knowledge makes you great. Well said by APJ Abdul Kalam. As we all know that this pandemic has changed the way of our interaction. We are maintaining social distancing and following all the protocols set by the government and institutions. In this scenario, technology has become an integral part of our life. With the help of technology, we are conducting online classes, video conferencing, online PTM, virtual assembly, quiz and competitions. Today, our young talented DVMIans will show their creative vision through virtual science exhibition. Thank you.
Science is the only subject that has brought revolutionary changes in our lives since antiquity. Now, secondary classes unveil their creations.
A very warm good morning to everyone. It's Lovely from class 9th A today going to show you my science project Lemon Battery. Here you can see that lemon is generating electricity and lighting a LED. I will tell you how I made it, but before I want to tell you the goal of making the lemon battery. The main goal of making the lemon battery is to converting the chemical energy into a electrical energy to generate enough electricity to light up a LED or generate a watch. By making this, you can save many artificial batteries and fossil fuels. So isn't it good to make a lemon battery? So at last I want to tell you, when life gives you lemon, make it a battery. Now I want to show you how I made it.
So first you have to take some lemons. You can take 3 or 4 lemons. I am taking 4 lemons. You can take 3 also. Now you have to take some copper nails and some zinc nails. You can take plates also. I am taking nails. You have to take 3 or 4 nails. And if you are taking plate, then you have to take 3 or 4 plates. Now take one LED. You can take LED bulb or plate. I am taking LED plate. Now take some wires. You can take these types of wires. Now cut a lemon from the center. Like this. Cut it properly and put a copper nail in it. Put a zinc nail also in it. Do this thing properly. Now do the same thing with all the lemons. At the end it look like this. Now roll a wire around a copper nail. Tight the wire and attach it properly. Remember that copper is positive and zinc is negative. Make sure that the wire should not be loose. Attach it properly. Join the copper nail with the zinc nail with the help of a wire. Remember that to not join copper with copper or zinc with zinc, because as we know, copper is positive and zinc is negative. So we have to join negative with positive only. You have to make sure about it. Now do the same thing with all the lemons, like this. Make sure that left the last one copper nail and the last one zinc nail, because that one we have to join with LED. As I already told you, remember that not to join copper with copper or zinc with zinc. Join copper with zinc only. Now join the LED. As we know that LED have legs. LED shorter leg is negative and longer leg is positive. Join the shorter leg with the copper and the longer leg with the zinc, because copper is positive and zinc is negative. Wow, you made a battery. We are successful in our project. you for watching the video. Have a nice day.
Good morning to all of you. My name is Suraj Kumar Chaturvedi and I study in Dayanand Vidya Mandir in 9th B. Today I am going to show you the study of osmosis by potatoes. I choose osmosis because it is very important for the cells for many ways. It helps in the movement of important material inside and outside of the cell. Osmosis. Osmosis is a process in which the water passes across the cell membrane depending on the solute concentration outside and inside of the cell. Now let us understand this with a very simple experiment. Here we have 3 potatoes. 2 of them are raw and 1 is boiled potato. Now we have to peel all 3 potatoes and make a hole in the middle of the potatoes and keep it in the tray. Now we have to put some salt in boiled potato and put some salt in 1 raw potato and keep the 3rd potato empty. Now put some water in the tray and wait for some time. Now you can see that the salt in the boiled potato remain as it is, but the salt in the raw potato is become wet and some is dissolved. This is because the salt in the raw potato drains out water from the cell lining the cavity due to osmosis. The cells draw out water from the adjoining cell and this cycle continues till the outermost cells. The cells at the outermost layer absorb water from the tray. This is what exactly happens in the roots. Plants keep a higher solute concentration in cells in stem, which is used to initiate pressure in the roots. Here the cells which absorbs the water from the soil. Now the importance of the solute can be understood. If you see the potato which has no salt, hence water does not get collected in the cavity, so water does not reach the desired destination. There is no collection of water in the boiled potato, which is because of death of cells due to boiling. So cells need to be alive for osmosis to take place. Thank you to listening me carefully and have a nice day.
Good morning everyone, I am Srishti Kumari from class 9A and today I am here to represent my model on solar irrigation system and purpose of this model to learn what is solar irrigation, how they work. So let's start. This is solar irrigation system. Solar panel, controller, pump, overhead tank, sun, wire, and this is our land, ground level, groundwater. Now I will tell you what is solar irrigation system. Solar irrigation uses the sun energy to power a pump which supply water to crop to help growth. Now how solar irrigation work? The pump used to transport water are equipped with the solar cell and then convert into electrical energy via a generator which then feed an electric motor driving the pump. Thank you for watching my model and have a nice day.
Good morning to all. I am Rahul Tiwari from class 9th here and today I will tell you the functions of some organelles of plant cells.
This is the cell wall and its main function is to provide structural strength and protection against mechanical and osmotic stress. This is the cell membrane. It is also called the plasma membrane. It separates the content of the cell from their external environment. This whole inner green colored part in the cell is the cytoplasm, and its function is to provide a medium for all the organelles to remain suspended. This is the nucleus of the cell, and its main function is to control and regulate the activities of the cell. This is the vacuole. It provides turbidity and rigidity to the plant cell. It acts as storage sacs of cell which stores food, water, minerals and waste products of cell. This is the mitochondria, and it is known as the powerhouse of cell. It provides the energy to the cell by the process of respiration. The energy is released in the form of ATP molecules. This is the soft endoplasmic reticulum. It helps in the synthesis of lipids. This is the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and it helps in transporting the protein to the Golgi apparatus. This is the Golgi apparatus. It packs and transports the materials which are synthesized in endoplasmic reticulum to different targets. These black dotted organelles are ribosomes. Ribosomes help in synthesizing the protein.
Thank you and have a nice day.
Myself Jitin Kumar, student of class 10, and today I am here to represent my model on the topic human excretory system. And the purpose of this model is to learn the function of human excretory system. So let's start. Human excretory system consists of dorsal aorta, inferior vena cava, adrenal gland, pair of kidney, renal vein, renal artery, ureter, urinary bladder, and urethra.
Good morning everyone. My name is Ishu Chauhan from class 10th A, and I am here to show you my science model of human excretory system. So have a look on it and learn some parts and functions of our human excretory system. So first, kidney. Kidney are bean-shaped organs. They help the body to pass waste as urine. Second, ureters. These are the two thin tubes in which urine travels from kidney to bladder. Urinary bladder. It is a muscular organ that stores urine but not permanently. Urethra. It is a tube that arises from the urinary bladder, and its function is to expel the urine outside the body. And urinary opening is the opening of the urethra. Thank you for watching my model and have a good day.
Good evening, I am Dipesh Kumar from class 9th. Today I am going to do an experiment to check that things lesser than the density of water on any other liquid floats in it. So for this experiment we need 2 glasses of water, 1 spoon of salt, 2 lemons. The procedure of this experiment is very simple to start. Fill 2 glasses with water. Now take a lemon and put it one of the glass and see what happens next. After some time, it sinks in it. Now we can see that the lemon sink in the water. Now we will take some salt and we will add in the other glass of water. And mix it well so that we get a salt solution. Now take another lemon and put it in the salt solution and see what happens next. Here we can see clearly that this lemon doesn't sink in the salt solution, but it floats in the water. This is because the density of this lemon is lesser than the density of the water, so it floats in it. But on the other hand, the density of the lemon in the common water is higher than the density of water, so it sinks. This is the reason why one lemon floats while one sinks in the water of different properties. This experiment shows that an object which has lesser density than water floats in it, while the density of other object which is higher than the water sinks in it. Thank you.
Good morning to all. As we all know, because of pandemic and closures, some schools couldn't hold their own local science competitions, which meant the students couldn't advance to the lab science fair. To overcome this situation, the Anand Vidya Mandir School fraternity has organized a virtual science exhibition to show and encourage students' scientific knowledge and spirit. The purpose of a virtual science exhibition is to promote creativity and scientific discovery. Science exhibition is important to develop a scientific spirit and curiosity in a student, which in turn forces them to think and creatively find solutions to the challenges. Students enjoy learning through such exhibition and feel a sense of belongingness as they make the models with their own hands. So now, let's have a look at our DV Mayan's scientific interest. Thank you.
Now from senior secondary classes will show their creativity.
Good morning everyone. My name is Aman Kumar from class 11th A. Today I will be telling you about Euglenoid. Euglenoid is a member of kingdom Protista and it mostly found in fresh water. Instead of cell wall, they have bridge layer of protein also called as pellicle. In the sunlight, they behave like autotrophs. When deprived of sunlight, they behave like heterotrophs by predating on other small organisms. Thank you and have a nice day.
Good morning everyone. Today I am going to give presentation on bacteriophage with the help of my bacteriophage model which I have made, and I'll tell you what is bacteriophage, what is its structure and how it works and what are its features. So let's get started. A bacteriophage is a virus which infects as well as kills bacterial host cell. It is also known as bacteria eater because it destroys its host cell bacteria. All bacteriophages are composed of a genetic material or nucleic acid molecule, which may be DNA or RNA, and is surrounded by a protein structure. Now let's come to its structure.
Greetings to all. My name is Divya. Today I am going to tell you about bacteriophage. Bacteriophage is a type of virus that infects bacteria. In fact, the word literally means bacteria eaters. It was first discovered by Frederick William Schwartz in 1950. Now, let's discuss about the structure of bacteriophage. Basic structure consists of a head, a sheath, and a tail fiber. The head portion consists of a genetic material, DNA or RNA, surrounded by a protein coat called caspase. Its function is to protect genome. Next is neck or collar. It is a small region that connects tail to the head portion. Next is tail fibers. The tail fibers are made up of pontoside proteins that have been injected of genetic material to the host cell. The next is base plate. Base plate is a disc to which tail fibers or the tail pins are attached. The tail fibers are what mediate the attachment to the bacterial cell. The DNA stored in the head will travel down the sheath and injected inside the cells. Once inside the cell, the phage will hijack the cellular machinery and make multiple copies of itself. Lastly, the newly assembled phage will burst forth from bacterium and reset its life cycle and kills bacterium in the process.
Respected Principal Ma'am, teachers and my dear students,
I welcome you all in this virtual science exhibition. I am Abhishek Dubey, your physics teacher, will be discussing you about alternating currents and direct currents. So, what is alternating current? Alternating current is a current which changes its direction constantly. At one interval of time it will move in this direction, and in another interval of time it will move in other direction. So like that it keeps on changing its direction. That's why in case of electric shocks we feel vibrations. Why vibrations? Because the current goes inside, then comes outside, inside, outside, like that we feel vibrations. While in case of direct currents, direct current is a unidirectional current. Unidirectional means in a single direction. It will move only in single direction. The sources of direct current, you all know that the batteries and the solar cells are also. And while in case of alternating currents, the sources are the generators and the supply which comes in our homes. There is one story regarding this about alternating currents and direct currents. So there was a war between two scientists who were supporters of alternating currents and direct currents. So Thomas Alva Edison was a supporter of direct currents and Nikola Tesla was the supporter of alternating currents. They were having some wars. So who won? Alternating current supporter. Who? Nikola Tesla won. So why? Because of its advantages over the direct currents, it can be transmitted over long distances efficiently. So that's why Nikola Tesla won. And on the other hand, who lost? Thomas Alva Edison lost, and his company also incurred huge losses. That's why he later regretted also because of his failure. And then we will move ahead on the parts of application. So, of alternating currents are used where? In our bulbs, refrigerators, fans, motors, toasters, and many other home appliances, right? And in case of direct currents are used in case of mobiles, batteries, and many other electronic applications. And the latest electric cars also work on the same principle. Hope you understand all the principle. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Good morning everyone present over here. Myself Priya Chaudhary from class 7th, Dhananand Vidya Mandir Public School. Today, I welcome you to this virtual science exhibition, where I will tell you some fun facts about science. So let's get started to the mystery of chemistry. My question number 1 is, what chemical does an onion produce on being cut that makes us cry? Your option A is citric acid, option B sulfuric acid, option C is propanediol S oxide, option D ethyl mercaptan. Think about it. Did you get it? It's okay. Let me tell you the answer. The answer is S-propanediol S oxide. Let's move to question number 2. The question number 2 is, who won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry twice? Options are Madame Curie, B. Linus Pauling, C. Roald Hoffmann, D. Friedrich Sanger. Take your time, think about it. Did you get it? Didn't? It's okay. Answer is Friedrich Sanger. Question number 3. Which chemical was used to preserve eggs in olden days? Options are A. Sodium oxide, B. Sodium hydrochloride, C. Sodium ethoxide, D. Sodium silicate. Take your time, think about it. Didn't? Okay. So the answer is sodium silicate. Let's move to question number 4. Now question number 4 is, the planet Mars refers to as a red planet due to the effect of which compound? Options are mercuric oxide, B. Trilead tetraoxide, C. Iron oxide, D. Silicon dioxide. Think about it. Maybe you get it. Did you get it? It's okay. So the answer for my question number 4 is iron oxide. Without any further ado, let's move to question number 5. The question number 5 is, which chemical compound is commonly used in the edible ink applied to the index finger during elections? Options are A. Silver nitrate, B. Iodine, C. Copper oxide, D. Mercuric iodine. Think about it. Didn't get the answer? It's okay. Let me tell you. The answer for my question number 5 is silver nitrate. Maybe you will remember these questions next time. And also, if you want to know more about the mystery of the chemistry, you can check out the Times NI edition of 4th December 2020. And also, this whole Mystery of Chemistry article is written by Sanghmitra Basu Sen Gupta, who is a teacher in Avishkar Academy, Bangalore. Thanks a lot.